How's it going, everybody? Dark Bandit for the win here. And before I begin, I usually script these things, like my commentaries, but I want to try something a little different. So this is going to be unscripted, and it might be a little bit all over the place. But what I want to talk about is my first impressions with Dying Light and the kind of negative press it got prior to its release. So, let me rephrase: Dying Light 2: Staying Human. So the game released on Friday, February 4th. 2 days prior to the official release of the game, a couple of YouTubers out there received early review copies. I believe that's what they're called. And there was a lot of praise. I'm not going to say which outlets, reported on this, but there were a lot of praise for the game, as well as a lot of these early reviews telling gamers to proceed with caution because the game is littered with bugs. Now, I know nowadays that seems to be the thing. Like, you got these big name games and companies pushing out games that come littered with bugs. So, with my experience with this game, I noticed that I played on day one. As soon as midnight hit on the 4th, I started playing, and within my first play session, combined with yesterday afternoon, today being the 5th, yesterday being the 4th, I haven't encountered any really disturbing bugs. Maybe a little bit of jankiness, but not bugs that's completely game breaking. So, for example, I believe one outlet put out a bug alert, and they recommended not playing the game day 1, maybe day 10, even day 30 until the developer Techland sorts everything out. Now, I will say, unfortunately, right now, I do have the game fired up on my PlayStation 5. The problem is, and I've noticed that there is a little message on the continue screen. I'm sorry, you could probably hear the game in the background, but it says Techline online service status. Oh, it's connected now. Earlier, probably I'll say about 15 minutes ago, it was disconnected. Now, that's one thing a lot of these outlets said, that the online service is messed up. So again, I haven't used it yet. I've only been playing single player solo, and I currently have about maybe 12 hours into this game. So my experience so far, I personally love it. I love this game. It takes a little used to getting. No, let me rephrase that. It takes time to get used to some of the controls. Like, R1 is to jump. In most games, I'm used to having X, or having the X button or the cross button now used to jump. And I could probably change it, but I'm not going to do it for the sake of, I'm not trying to confuse myself even more. But the controls are solid, and that's where the jankiness comes in, especially with the combat sometimes. Especially when you're trying to, when you vault over an enemy and try to drop kick another enemy. If you're not perfectly lined up, then you will miss, but it looks awkward when you miss the drop kick. But that's just part of jankiness right there, Another thing that I noticed that's jankiness, or maybe a little glitchy, is some of the zombies. The zombies, like especially the shamblers, when they're trying to get to you. I've noticed that if there's a set of steps in their way, they will get stuck on the steps, and you can obviously see them trying to get you or trying to reach you. And real quick, I'm still on the splash screen, and now it says that the online services have been disconnected. So obviously, there's something wrong with the Techland's online service status. So it's on and off, but I'll get back to that later. But anyways, going back to the zombie and the steps. So the zombie will get stuck on the steps. Now, it will remain like that as long as you keep your distance. But I've noticed at the moment you get within striking range for the zombie, then it'll unstuck itself and it'll come at you. So that's one thing I did notice. And in my 12 hours of playing, and keep in mind, that's 12 hours, and I've barely scratched the surface of this game. That because most of that time was spent me just running around doing side quests. I think I've only done maybe about 5 or 6 main story quests and about 10 or 12 side quests. So I'm taking my time with this game. But another thing I noticed, and it was more of an annoyance, is that sometimes with the NPCs or the quest givers, when you speak to them in the beginning, your character has to assume a position. So let's say, for example, an NPC is sitting at a table. Your character, which is Aiden, he will sit down at the table with this NPC, and then there'll be like a little dialogue exchange. However, I noticed at some point, I don't know when it happened. It was probably towards like last night before I stopped playing, before I turned it off, like my last 45 minutes or so. I noticed that this is NPC named Dodger, and he was involved in a side quest. And Dodger sits inside the bazaar at a bar table. You know, there's a guy behind him at a bar, and basically, whenever you talk to Dodger, you sit at the table with him. So I noticed that my character wasn't sitting at the table, and Dodger, he would stand up and wouldn't even face me, but the dialogue exchange is still going on. So that could be a bug right there. With the animation, thankfully they're not T-posing or anything, but it's kind of what's the word, immersion breaking, because basically I'm just staring at the side of his head. There was another quest where actually that same quest, I don't know if it could have been quest specific, but that same quest, there was two other people I had talked to, a male and a female. And I walk up to the male, I see his face, I see the body, and the moment I push the button, press square to talk, his face just zooms in on my face to the point where I could see through his skull. And the whole time he's talking to me, I just got the back of his head like zoomed in right in my face. And because the NPC is moving while he's talking, sometimes when he moved, the back of his skull, I was able to see inside his skull. And yeah, it was weird. And there was another side quest I did with this little girl named Maya. She was hiding behind a stone wall, and my character actually had to crouch down to speak to her, right? The problem is, when I initiated the dialogue with Maya, I was facing her, but when the dialogue exchange started to happen, I'm facing nothing. She's not even in my view, but I'm talking to her and I'm crouched down as if there's supposed to be a person in front of me. Luckily, the quest went as it was supposed to. Like, it didn't mess up or anything, or I didn't get no objective marker or anything. But it was just, again, immersion breaking, that I'm talking to somebody, but I'm not actually facing them. So I would consider that a slight bug. It's more of an annoying one, but it's not game breaking. Now, again, I just started playing this game. I'm still in the beginning, and those are the only things I've encountered thus far. So, who knows? If anything, I will be playing this game a lot more. And if I encounter anything, I'll definitely record it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. In this video, there will be certain footage of some of the jankiness with the zombies on the steps. I wasn't thinking. I kind of got tired, and I didn't record the part where Dodger was not facing me, or when Maya wasn't facing me, or maybe I did. I have to double check, but again, those are minor bugs. That's not game breaking, and I would assume that would come in another hot fix. And backtracking a little bit, like I was saying with the early review copies reviews for some of these outlets. They did mention that Techland would come out with a day one patch. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that already came out, because I pre-ordered the digital copy, right? The digital edition of this game, and I was able to preload this game on the 2nd, 2 days before actual release. I wasn't able to play it, but I was able to already have the game downloaded. So that was on February 2nd. On February 3rd, when I turned the game on to play a different game, there was an update file. I tried to see what that update file was, but it was limited information. So the thing is, I don't know if the update file on February 3rd was the day one patch. I don't know. It's now February 5th. I turned my system on, and I haven't seen anything. And yesterday when I came home from work, when I turned my system on, there wasn't anything. So again, I'm not 100% sure if that update patch was the day one patch, or the pre-day one or the day zero patch. I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it. But there was an update patch 24 hours before the game officially released. So I don't know if that helped a lot. I probably have to go to the Techland website and try to figure out what exactly that was. But all in all, so far, again, aside from those minor bugs, the game is running smoothly for me. You know, I'm playing on the PlayStation 5. I'm running the game in performance mode. I actually streamed a little bit on my Twitch channel yesterday, and yeah, my experience has been solid so far. But again, anything can happen. I will reiterate that I'm only in the beginning of this game, so there could be some game breaking bugs later on. But ever since this game released, I did check some of the YouTube channels, and I really don't see anybody talking about some of the glaring or major game breaking bugs that were discussed about in early review copy videos, you know, from other YouTube outlets. So as of right now, I recommend this game. It is fun, especially if you played the first one. It is a major upgrade from the second one is a major upgrade from the first one. So definitely, if you got the time to do it, pick up the game, try it out. But again, going back to the online service, because this game does have a co-op feature. I'm still in the splash screen right now, and there's like this little ticker message. It keeps saying it's connected, then it's disconnected. So I will say right now, the online service, the co-op feature for this game is messed up right now. So I will hold off on the co-op right now. But if you don't mind just playing solo, get some levels up, then you know this game is worth it. But as of right now, I've only experienced minor bugs. Online service co-op feature is kind of screwed up right now, so take that into consideration. Especially if you were planning to play this game with a whole bunch of friends, the online service is a little messed up, and I would suspect that Techland is aware of this, and they will come up with another hot fix, hopefully sooner than later. But with that said, that's my first hot take on this game. I will probably come out with some more videos, and yeah, if anything, if you want to see more gameplay of this, follow me on Twitch, X, Dark Bandit 4X at Twitch TV. I believe that's the link. Yeah, I don't normally promote my Twitch, so it's like, but you know what? I'll have it on the description. All right. But with that said, I'll be back later with more, and come follow me on Twitch. And if you like the video, please comment, like, subscribe. And let me know in the comment section if what's your experience with this game so far, if you've purchased it. You know, do you like it? Have you encountered any of the game breaking bugs that was mentioned in the early review copy videos from other YouTube outlets? Let me know. And let me know which mission it happened on too, because that'll be interesting to know if these bugs are mission specific and whatnot. So with that said, this is a short video. Yeah, I'm out of here. And this was unscripted too, so I apologize for kind of being all over the place. And yeah, later everyone, be safe.